or Twitter and
Hey guys, welcome into the Expected Bets 4 podcast today. I am joined by not Patrick Gator Sports Betting tonight. It's going to be Gretzky Betskis to my right here, and then Spittin' Picklets is joining us for a special Friday happy hour. I am Franco the Banker, taking over hosting duties today. So, guys, how we doing tonight?
Yeah, pretty good. Great. I'm just so glad Gator's not here, to be honest. It's just like freedom.
I'm happy to
finally.
be replacing him.
Yeah.
You know, they were saying the show needed a new host, so
and I'm going to try not to let this go off the rails tonight.
And don't worry, Tyson, we will be Venmoing you the $30,000 check or cash
per episode,
for
right?
The appearance, yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate it, man. Like,
we're in contact with your agent. It's coming through shortly.
It really goes a long way.
Yeah, nice. The bank's a little upset with the loan I had to take out, but we'll figure it out.
Well, the banker's right here.
Yep, I'm here, guys.
He's the one that's pissed.
We got a small slate tonight, guys. So
yeah,
we kind of talked about beforehand. This slate's not super pretty. So we'll get into it, but we're also going to look at the Saturday slate as well and kind of look ahead a little bit at these games. I think there's some really good matchups tomorrow, so I think that's going to be the meat of this episode tonight. But first, let's get into these games tonight. So we're kicking it off with Winnipeg playing in Pittsburgh. The total sitting at 6, minus 120 to the over, minus 110 or plus 100 to the under. Jets are laying minus 192 now. That has moved significantly. I think it was minus 150 or so this morning. So once Jari got confirmed, that obviously continued to move towards the Jets' favor. Penguins are plus 160 home dogs. I guess I'll kick it off with you, Betsky, since it looks like Tyson's a little bit busy there. But what do we got here, man?
Sharing the stream here.
Yeah, man, awesome.
Nice.
What do you think, Betsky? What do you think about this game? How are we looking?
It's funny because I keep thinking that Pittsburgh's gotten better, and then I'm looking at their record, and it's like, oh, their win was against the Sharks. They went to overtime against the Lightning, who couldn't stop a beach ball against Columbus last night. They went to overtime and lost against the Red Wings. So, and then they had the 6-2 loss to Columbus and the 7-1 loss to Dallas, all within like the past 2 weeks. So, yeah, it's hard to not want to back Winnipeg here. Both these teams are going to be in a back-to-back, and Winnipeg has someone decent tomorrow. Oh, never mind, Nashville, the last team in the league. So, yeah, maybe Winnipeg's more focused on tonight. Hellebuck in net. Jari's been a little bit better as of late, I guess, but you never really know what you're going to get out of him. Hard to want to back Pittsburgh. Selfishly, I kind of hope they win because Utah's going in there tomorrow, and I hope they feel good about themselves and then let us actually score more than one goal. But
I don't even think you scored a goal yesterday, did you?
We did not. No.
Oh, that's right. No, I'm just kidding.
You know, that means
been brutal. It's
that
been
means
5
there's
shutouts
goals
already. Yes.
For sure. I mean, you were at a disadvantage the whole time. I mean, it was the new coach bump.
Yep.
That every team gets. I mean, that's just a scheduled loss right there.
Oh, and I'm totally waiting for Mike Sullivan to get fired tonight and then walking into another game with a head coach
Could you imagine?
No. And they got to play the Sharks after they had lost every game of the season. So, of course, the Sharks snapped that losing streak. They've just been cursed with the schedule. I think it was when Colorado finally decided to not play Georgiev at the beginning of the season. We got that. And anyways, yeah, I would I feel like the under is the play here. If you're going to go on the sides and totals, but it's concerning because I mean, if Winnipeg runs up the score, which they can, then I mean they may be able to hit the over themselves, and we've seen that happen twice already in Pittsburgh games. So, not something I'm exactly excited to dip into.
Yeah, I bet
that's fair.
one Jets under earlier this year against the Rangers, and I think that game was like 6-3 or something ridiculous.
Yeah.
No, I'm good.
I had that under too.
Yeah.
I remember
I
that
think a
game.
lot of us did, unfortunately.
Yeah.
What about you, Nicholas? How you feeling on this one?
Well, just to go off kind of what Betsky was saying there, I do this head-to-head team cheat sheet. Only 2 game slate. I didn't feel like it was necessary to really post it today, but Winnipeg head-to-head has won 3 out of the last 4 against Pittsburgh, and the under 6.5 has hit in 6 out of the last 7. So if you really like the under, we got Hellebuck in the game, and it's a 6.5 line. So I could definitely see like a 5-0, 5-1 Winnipeg.
True.
The under cashes, but you still get the offense from a high flying Winnipeg team, right?
I guess the safest thing here is Jets puck line, right?
Yeah, you could do that.
Jets and Reg is still bettable. It's -110.
Yeah, that's good too.
Yeah,
I like that.
That's
a
why
lot.
I took this morning. I think I went with a half unit on just because I don't feel super good about it. Just this feels like a weird game where maybe Pittsburgh shows up.
I know.
But to be honest with you, I think tomorrow's the game they win. Unfortunately, best. I think they
It's
lose
fine.
tonight.
It's fine.
But yeah.
Well, what about some player props? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
Like Pittsburgh is really a target for shots on goal. So, do you guys have anything in that market?
I mean, Kyle Connor looks fantastic again.
Mhm.
I love his trend of missing like 2 games and then hitting like 2 to 3 in a row. So he's coming off of a hit against Florida, who he's historically been very good against. Don't forget Winnipeg lost that game, right? Wait, no. They lost the first game against Florida.
Yeah, they won the second one, like 6-3.
They won the second one. Sorry. Yes. But still, he put up 4 shots off of 7 attempts. Great history against Pittsburgh, hitting in 5 of the last 7, averaging 6.9 attempts in those 7 games. What's not to like here, especially with how many shots Pittsburgh gives up? I guess your only concern here is the score gets out of hand quickly, and Connor doesn't really need a fire here. But +110, I think he was like +120 the other night against Florida. It's kind of nice how much value you can get on his shot props right now. And last season, he was really, really inconsistent and hard to get right. This season's been a really nice ride because he misses just enough to where his value keeps on going up after those 2 to 3 misses. And then he can just kind of ride that wave of the hits. So I'm definitely taking that. Looks great to me. I mean, chalky as hell, but whatever.
I know. That's what I said. That's what I said earlier this morning. I was talking to Firefighter, and I was just like, it's chalk, but like Kyle Connor just is the best square on the board in this game.
Yeah.
And that's what I've also got down. I don't know about you guys, but like the betting this season's been kind of hard. I mean, not for Franco because like that guy just takes fourth liners to score at +600 and he hits it every game.
Cash.
But
that's the only thing saving me, man.
But for me, like I'm mostly focused on like the shot on goal market, and that like if a guy hits like 2 games in a row at 2.5, now it's unplayable. It's like -160, -170. It's like, what happened? Like it used to be such a bettable market. Now it's really not. So to get this good value on Connor and a good matchup is something I couldn't overlook.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I feel like in general, the shot on goal market for the last like 2 years has been more difficult than it was going back like 2 or 3 seasons ago. I felt like it was just easy. You look at your chart, you see who's hot. They were still plus money at a nice number. Now it's like it is difficult. So yeah, I've been more selective personally, but I get the appeal to it still. So I'm more shifted to points and goal props just because of that. But
the shot prop is still arguably the best prop in all sports, in my honest opinion, because you're not done until the end of the game. It's not game script dependent necessarily. You get a nice long sweat occasionally. I mean, nothing's better than like needing one more shot from somebody, and it's the last couple minutes of a game, and he gets it and it cashes your parlay. Or goes to overtime.
Like Perron last night, he got one.
Yeah.
He got one with like 5 minutes left.
It's such a fun ride, even if it can be extremely frustrating at times and whatnot. Because it's kind of like receiving yards, where you kind of slowly track it through the game. But with receiving yards, all it takes is one bomb, and then you're like, sweet, got it.
There we go. Yep. I mean, I don't mind a first period cash though.
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Like for entertainment value purposes, I think shots is by far the best.
Yeah,
I'd agree. And not always in the good way. but just for the fucking ride, man. It's
like Justin Falk yesterday. You see he had 2 in the first period. I'm like, okay, sweet, we're tracking.
Yeah, you're like, this is easy.
And then like halfway through the third, he's still at 2. I'm like, oh God. Here we go.
So we got a comment here. Does Crosby get to 600 tonight? Tough matchup, right? Hellebuck, but I mean, it's Sidney Crosby, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
you're getting him
if not tonight, circle your calendars for tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, if he doesn't get it tonight, he's I'm gonna sprinkle him tonight. I think at plus 185, you're getting nice value. He's more like a plus 140 type of guy, plus 130 type of guy in a good matchup. So, he could be that guy that scores in a situation like this. I don't think it necessarily matters as Hellebuck. I think the Pens can get one, so I like that. I think the value's there.
Yeah, no, I like that. Another guy that I kind of wanted to talk about. Well, just going off Kyle Connor, I looked at Hockey Viz, and do you guys look at Hockey Viz at all?
Yeah.
Kind of like look at the heat maps. So Pittsburgh allows a crap ton of shots from the left faceoff dot, and that's where Kyle Connor sets up on the power play. So, and they're the middle of the pack. They allow 3 power play opportunities a game. If he gets 1 per power play, which he's the main sniper on that power play, like I really like that. But also at 5-on-5, they allow most of their shots right in front of the net. That's where Velarde gets all of his. So I looked into him a little bit, but I mean, back-to-back games with 0 shots, like
it's tough.
He's
streaky too.
Streaky.
He's very streaky.
He had 0, 1, and then 1 in his last 3 games. So, something I could back, right?
Yeah, I think you wait till he heats up, and he's a guy that you can back when he's hot, though. So and usually you get plus money with him
for sure.
What about Ehlers?
I looked at him
minus 162.
Yeah, that's my turn off. Like
I know.
Kind of sucks. He's got good history and everything, but
let me propose something that may turn you on, though. Spitting.
I already am.
All right.
Too late.
Jesse Pool Party
dude, I was going to mention him.
Dude.
Yeah.
Finally gave his prop. I didn't realize he had been lighting up the lamp so much. And last game he had a couple goals. I think 1 or 2 even. Definitely had 1. But he's only a 1.5 shot guy tonight. But he's hit that in 7 of his last 8. And averaging 4.5 shots. The last 3 games, he had 8, 9, and 6 shot attempts.
It's crazy.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
And he actually has fantastic history against Winnipeg, heading in 6 of the last 7.
Which is crazy because I didn't think he played enough to have good history against anybody. But
yeah,
here we are.
Doesn't even make sense. He's on the second power play as well, so
that's not a bad one. Even like taking up to 3. Because like his 3 is plus 210.
Yeah.
Which
and Winnipeg's actually giving up a decent amount of shots. So that may be a fun one, or even to the builder of 1.5 with him and 2.5 on Ehlers.
Okay, but now here's a question. Is this a bet that you would only take on a 2-game slate, or would you take this bet if it was a full like Saturday or whatever?
No.
Are we just picking this?
So I would say I would do like a 4-player 2-shot parlay type of thing with him. That would be what I would do on a bigger slate.
Mm-hmm.
Like Chris Letang, who also looks fantastic tonight.
Isn't he out?
He's questionable, or
okay, never mind.
he might play. I saw earlier.
Never mind.
If
I
he
thought,
doesn't-
and I thought this was more recent. I don't know if you want to take him game one coming back.
Coming off the injury, yeah.
If he's out though, does that make you like Carlson a bit more?
Not necessarily.
Yeah, just because I
Maybe
know
in
like
a
at the
bigger
beginning of the year, Winnipeg allowed quite a few shots to defensemen. So
Yeah.
but
Do we have anything else for this game, or should we move on so we can make sure we have some time for the?
I think
tomorrow's
we've spent
slate?
plenty.
Yeah,
on
we
this.
spent enough time. I will say,
Okay.
one last thing is Scheifele has 4 goals in 6 games against them, so that looks pretty good. His prop is plus 195 for a goal, and if you go Scheifele Connor point parlay, that's minus 130. I like that. A
Yeah.
lot. I think
Yeah,
I'm
like
going to
that too.
get there on that one. So
Yeah.
that's all I really have here.
I do want to point out one other thing about Puljujarvi really quickly. He was the 3rd overall draft pick in the 2016 draft after Austin Matthews and Patrick Laine to Edmonton, mind you. Spittin', I know you know all too well who came after that at 4th overall. Olevi Joel or Ollie Jolevi.
Wasn't
the defenseman
fourth?
that
Wasn't fourth? Oh no, 3rd was PLD.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, fourth.
Third
was
was
PLD. 4th was Franco's favorite.
3rd was
Pierre-Luc
PLD. I
Dubois.
thought.
You're right.
Yeah,
I'm
and
sorry.
then 4th
3rd
was
was PLD.
Puljujarvi,
4th
and
was Puljujarvi.
I know where you're going with this, and
Edmonton could have drafted Matthew Tkachuk. Just
so
saying.
could have us.
Yeah, but it would have been way more disgusting if Matthew Tkachuk was playing with McDavid.
Yep, that's fair.
Oh my god, that'd be crazy.
In dry side.
Here's another comment. Nino and
Yeah,
Jesse
Nino's been
Pugliarvi,
fantastic
2+.
all year. He kind of dipped out on the 2 Florida games, 0 shots, 0 attempts. Has all right history against Pittsburgh. I'm a little worried because he was just rocking and rolling so long this season and kind of went cold. Last season, he has a couple stretches of 3 games of misses or so, but it's not a bad look. I'm not going to say like. I mean, he could.
I'm worried
easily
because
be
he's playing Nashville tomorrow, which is a revenge spot for him. So he's going to store up his energy for that.
There you
That'd
go.
be my worry.
He doesn't even have a
All right.
shot attempt in his last 2 games.
No.
But
he's been
how does
just
that even
chilling.
happen?
I don't know.
Oh,
It's
don't
all
tell me you've
green,
never
and
woken up and
it's
just
so
decided
weird.
to totally check out at your job. Come on.
Yeah, he's just like
Fair.
screw
It's
it.
just a job to them.
That's true.
All right, let's move on, man. I feel like we've talked about this game way too long. But
That always happens.
so we got Buffalo at Anaheim. The total's sitting at 6 as well. Minus 118 to the over, minus 102 to the under. Sabres minus 180 because that should ever happen. And the Ducks are plus 150 home dogs. We'll start with Piglets on this one. What do you think here?
I don't have anything locked in like I did with Kyle Connor for this game. I mean, there's
Mhm.
tons of good spots on Buffalo side because Anaheim ranks at the top in shots against to every position it seems. But one guy I really wanted to highlight, Olin Zellweger, man, that guy's on a tear right now. What is it? 8 straight games. He's cleared his over 1.5. I'm not saying it's a great matchup against Buffalo, but I mean his shot attempts are through the roof, like 9, 8, 8, 8, 7, 5, 5, 5. Like.
He has the shot attempts of a 2.5 guy, and it's a blessing that he doesn't hit 3 because if he hit 3 a little bit more consistently, we'd probably not be able to play this prop.
For sure.
Could he be our piece with Pugliarvi?
There you go.
Yeah, bang. There it is.
I feel like that looks pretty nice.
Yeah.
As well,
I like that a lot.
Zell will Jarvie.
I like it.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, I don't want to take the floor if you guys have anything official here, so you can keep. I just don't want to see your plays, but I have a couple other looks, so I'll let you guys go.
No.
Yeah, keep going, man.
You
keep going. Just it's fine. We'll say if we like it as well, and if not,
we'll just boo you if
sucks.
it sucks.
That's fair. I get that a lot. And this would be another parlay piece, but something that I noticed is Buffalo allows the most power play opportunities against over the last 10 games. So kind of just looked on the other side who shoots the most on the power play for the Ducks, and it was Frank Vetrano. He does have a 2.5 shot on goal line, but it's minus 175, so that would have to be another parlay piece. But I mean, he's cleared 5 of the last 6 games. Shot attempts are fairly decent. 4 of those games he had 7 or more, with 2 being in the double digits. Got pretty good history against Buffalo as well, clearing 5 out of the last 7. So, I mean, he was someone that I looked at and like I wouldn't be turned off to buy him up to 3.5 and get some plus money there.
All right, nice. Any more,
like
or are you ready for Betsky action here?
Yeah, go.
Well, I got nothing. So
Nothing. Oh man, after all
I
that.
talked about the hard
I'm
Anaheim
just kidding.
side.
I'm just kidding. I kind of like the Ducks money line here tonight. I feel like they're kind of due. A home dog on a Friday night. Come on, man. And I think Buffalo's in San Jose tomorrow too. So, they got back to back. They're probably taking it easy in California. I think they were just in Los Angeles, so they had a day off with very minimal travel. So yeah, Ducks money line. I guess you could just do Ducks and Jets tonight, and hopefully the Jets don't screw it up early. But that probably has some decent value, or Jets and Reg even. Outside of that, the props, I like that Vetrano look too. I was kind of eyeballing that. It looks like Buffalo shuffled their lines a little bit. I wasn't paying too much attention to what they were against LA, but Dahlin finally misses his shots on goal. Can he bounce back against the Ducks, who allow so many shots all over the board against positionally? Well, he's only 2 for 6 of his last 6 against the Ducks. Tage is still out, so somebody's got to pick up shots here. I don't know if I want to ride it, though. At minus 165, this is a guy who will go on giant streaks of hitting and then miss, and he just hit 9 in a row. So I don't know, man.
Yeah,
now,
I hate hopping
point
on at
looks
the
a
end.
little bit better, but same situation, minus 160. It's just kind of tough to find value here. Now, who's on the top power play unit for the Ducks right now? Speaking of how many penalties,
I think it's
Buffalo's
Carlson, Vetrano, Zellweger, Terry, and Strome.
There you go. Maybe Terry power play point could be good, or maybe a Leo Carlson goal is the way to go.
I will say, even though they are allowing the most power play opportunities, they have the 12th best penalty kill, 82.9%. But
close.
The Ducks have the worst at 62.5
penalty kill.
Yeah.
So are you saying Jason Zucker power play point?
I mean, it could be. I mean, I like your call on the Ducks money line. I mean, they've actually won 3 straight coming into tonight, which
they're playing
that's
decent.
surprising.
They're playing
that's
decent.
It's got to be their longest win streak. Yeah,
it's
got to be their longest win streak maybe in the last 5 years. Just kidding.
Wow.
But
since Getzlaf had hair.
But also, like, you could see, didn't Buffalo just shut out the Kings 1-0? I think it was.
Yeah.
So I mean, you could see like a little bit of, regression. Like they'll allow some more goals tonight. Who knows?
Yeah, floodgates open. UPL's been pretty good.
Yeah.
I kind of lean towards the under in this game, to be honest. The only problem I have is we're getting Gibson instead of Dostal. So,
but he's been all right.
Yeah. I'm not saying he's been bad, but it's just if we had Dostal, I would be hammering the under, I feel like. But I agree with you, Betsky. I like Anaheim as well. Home dog plus 150. In no world should Buffalo ever be minus 180. I don't care who they're playing against. So I just feel like that's a good way to kind of bet in general, right? Like if a team just looks too good to be, I mean, they're on the road too. It's not like they're home or, what's the scheduling disadvantage for Anaheim? There isn't really one. So I don't see why anybody should be laying a price of minus 180 for Buffalo at all. So I kind of
hopefully Gator's not listening to this.
So, sorry, Gator.
He's in Florida. He doesn't care right now.
So the player props I had though look value wise look pretty decent. Dahlin assists is minus 105. He has 6 assists in his last 5 against them. I know he's been scoring, but that feels like a nice look as far as the value on it. Alex Killorn on the Ducks side has 6 points in 7 games against them. He's plus 120. And Zellweger point as well, plus 145, looks really good. He's been heating up 4 points in his last 3 games. Like we said, he's been firing a ton. He's on that top power play. So I don't want to go super heavy on point props here. I'll probably limit that to one of those 3 that I brought up. But because like I said, I lean more towards the under, but
Mhm.
I think the best play here is probably just taking that Ducks money line for like a half unit at plus
Yeah,
one.
I like it. And I mean, like for your Darlene assist prop, like he has been scoring a lot because he's been shooting a lot. But now that he missed, is he starting to not shoot as
Go
much?
back down. Yep.
Yeah, lean more to an assist, right? So I like that look too.
Yeah, we'll see. And it's like if you wanted to back Buffalo, you would want to have Tajan in the game too. I mean,
For sure.
so you're not getting him back either. The lines are a little bit funky right now with Ryan McLeod up top. So
That's a guy who I thought you were going to say for a goal.
I
that
mean
just
I bet
seems
him I bet him last game and he burned
Yeah.
me. So
I looked
again,
at his shots, but I couldn't find a book that had it.
Oh yeah, that would kind of make sense.
Because I think he had 3 last game, 2 the game before. And
we were just complaining about how you never get players until it's like too late with these situations. So
yeah,
that's typically how
he's
it
still
goes.
not up.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I don't mind sprinkling his goal if that's
Mm-hmm.
if the value's still there. To be honest with you, anytime a guy moves up to the top line, you're still going to get probably pretty good value as far as what he normally is at. Yeah, he's plus 310 tonight, so that's
Dang.
it's a good price for a guy on a first line. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, who's shooting?
Yep.
Well,
All right, you guys
speaking of
got
top
anything else
line,
for this one? Oh no, what do you got?
no, I was just going to do the promos.
Oh.
Go for it, man. While I switch this graphic to this beautiful slate for tomorrow.
Ooh.
Well, speaking of top lines, are you ready to go to a game? Maybe sit in the front row? Feel like a top line player with code THPN at game time? Or want top line audio quality in your headphones? Don't forget Raycon. Again, promo code THPN to get all those Christmas gifts so you have crystal clear as ice audio quality in your buds. And finally, don't forget to tune in to DraftKings Sportbook with promo code THPN and get some bonus money. I forget how much. Either way,
$200 in
That's
bonus
my
bets when
plugs.
you bet just $5.
There you go.
There we
Use
go.
promo
That
code THPN.
top line quality.
Who normally does the ad reads?
Me,
Gator
obviously.
does.
No.
Really?
Gator does. So. Hey, I mean, Betsky just nailed that.
You did a great job.
That
Yeah.
Thank
was
you.
pretty good. That's pretty good. I
Look like a
it.
natural.
So we move on to tomorrow's slate here, and it's a monster. We'll try to get through all this. Obviously, it's a lot of games, so we'll see what we can do here. But
without looking it up too, can you figure out which 2 teams are not playing? But keep on going. I'm trying to.
Holy crap. Oh, I know.
That's way too big of an estimate.
Oh, I see one. I see
know
one.
one.
Oh wait, no, never mind. Never mind. I did
I
not
know
see
one.
Is
Can I
Toronto
say it?
off?
Toronto
Yeah.
is one.
Toronto's schedule has been really weird. They played one game in the middle of the week. That's it.
Mhm. And then they
I
play
don't really
Sunday.
understand that.
Well, there's only
Yeah,
one
give those
game on
boys a break.
Sunday, and it's Utah, Toronto, right?
Oh man, awful.
Unfortunate. Is it the Ducks?
Toronto
Ducks off
and-
tomorrow?
No, it is the Ducks. Yeah.
Oh, crazy.
Bang,
Okay.
easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Bang.
Mm.
All right. See, we got this. We know our teams in this league. All right. So anyway, we kick off tomorrow with a 1:00 game. Chicago against my Philadelphia Flyers in Philly. I will be in attendance to watch
Wow, that'll be fun.
Mr. Bedard skate against Mr. Mishkov. I'm very
First
excited.
time.
actually.
Who is the best player of the 2020?
I think that answer is
draft, or
obvious.
free draft.
Mishkov.
Yep.
But yeah. So Betsky, I'll start with you here. What are you liking in this one? Do you have any place Berkville?
I feel like you have to go Mishkov point. I'm sorry. Like he has everything to play in the world right now. Still needing to try to kind of impress his head coach. Torts went pointless in 2 games, had a 4-game point streak with 6 points in those 4 games after being benched. Now he gets to play against the other player who, some scouts out there thought Mishkov was better than Bedard. I know by the end of that draft class or draft season rather, Bedard is pretty unanimously the top pick here, but there's still, some rumblings of could Mishkov have more skill. Bedard is kind of struggling. What a storyline would it be for Mishkov to have a hell of a game, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the one that pops up first to me. And it borderline makes me want to potentially sprinkle his shots. So we're finally getting his shot props. It is a 2.5 line, and he's only hit that in 2 of his last 10. Temps aren't great either. He's hovering around 3 to 4 attempts per game usually. But again, that extra motivation, if he cares, is kind of the hard thing to gauge here. But there's a lot of nice storylines there, and kind of be fun to just go for the Mishkov side of things here.
Why wouldn't
I
you
was
just
surprised.
go Mishkov and Bedard point parlay?
I looked at that too, but
Yeah,
Bedard
that would be
isn't
fun.
getting points, dude.
No, Bedard has
I
been
know.
struggling.
Yeah, and like, I mean, there was something that came out today that he said he's frustrated. Like, no shit, dude. Obviously, you are. Like,
Yeah.
it would suck. I mean, I want to go back to what you said about like if Mishkov cares.
Yeah,
I don't know if he does, because
I don't either.
I think he forced himself to Philly. You know, like he wanted to go to Philly. That was the only place that he said he would go if any other team drafted him, and so that's where he went, right? So is it like a rivalry? Like, oh, you went first, so I got to beat you and prove to you that I'm better than you? Like, I don't think so. I think he just picked his spot, and that's where he ended up. But
well, then on the flip side of that, Chicago is awful, and Mishkov going 2 games pointless makes me feel like it's a nice bounce back opportunity.
Now the question is, what's the number going to be? Is it going to be still plus money? Because it's been like plus 105 the last couple of games. I bet you're going to see minus 120 first point. Yeah.
On props.cash right now, it says minus 135.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I was kind of worried about, that we'd see that bump, even though he hasn't been producing. It sucks because he's on the third line, and I'm assuming Torts is going to kind of keep him down there. I know at the end of the game he did move him up with TK. It was a little too late, I guess, at that point, but I would really like to see him just playing with TK. I don't really care who the center is. Unfortunately, it's probably Coots, but
it's Travis Konechny for all you non-Philly fans.
What are you trying to do putting him on the third line though? He's a top 6 player. Like,
I know it just doesn't make sense. And you're putting him with Cates, who's a defensive center, which kind of makes sense in a way. But Farabee just has not been good at all this season. He's kind of just fallen off a cliff. And you want to have him with guys that can score so he can set them up. Is Farabee a goal scorer at this point? I'm not excited about it.
Who's your shutdown line?
Well, I guess it would be the fourth. Paling and Hathaway are like the 2 shutdown guys typically. Gotcha. Cates has like moved in and out of that role as well. So Forrester doesn't make sense on that line either. He's a goal scorer, shooter type guy. So again, like the Torts had this
first name
team in a blender, like you said. But yeah, nice. That was a nice first name there. But
thank you.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm hoping we see some changes in these lines, because the way they sit right now, it just doesn't really make sense to me. But we'll see.
Yeah, none of us on the West Coast are going to be up early enough to see if the lines change before placing these bets. So anything else besides Mishkov you guys are interested in this game so we can move on?
Nope.
There we go. Correct answer.
TK goal
Here,
would be the other one. Konechny goal. Pretty good history against them. So 3 goals in 6 games, averaging almost 4 shots on goal in those 6 games for you shot on goal guys. So I could see him being a force tomorrow, we'll say. But yeah, let's move on. We have the 4:00 game for East Coasters, not West Coasters. I guess that would be 1:00 if you're Pacific. So we have Seattle versus the Kings. So that's kind of weird, right? They're playing at 1:00 their time. I know you're gonna say that. Oh, right. Over 5.5, minus 105, under minus 115. Kraken plus 136, Kings minus 162. Home favorites. You guys have any plays here?
One thing that just popped out to me was Kevin Fiala's last game with 8 attempts and 3 shots against Buffalo. He has an all right history against Seattle, 5 out of his last 10. But I'm more interested because this is a guy who can be very streaky. Seen it in the past. He's been kind of slumping right now. Did he just do his slump buster game and we're ready to kind of ride that wave? Minus 145, that wasn't really necessarily all that appealing either. So I don't know, maybe a little parlay piece. That's just the first thing that jumped out to me here.
Yeah, I mean, you got to like those attempts.
Yes.
for sure.
I
mean,
Schwartz.
I was like, going.
Schwartz got bumped down to
Schwartz has been
1.5.
awesome. He missed that last game though.
And he got bumped down to 1.5.
Yeah. Maybe it's the
If-
matchup.
Yeah,
I mean, that may be an
Kings are
early
pretty good.
catch. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of tough.
Mhm.
Montour had 8 attempts last game. He has hit 3 of his last 4 against LA. That may be something to kind of eyeball.
That's who I was going to mention. He's been a shooting machine. Now, it's not a great
Yep.
matchup. They allowed
No.
the third fewest in the shots in the league. So,
And I really, really want to be able to play Brant Clark, but man,
Yeah.
every time I'm feeling like I'm going to take that plunge, he just misses.
That's
or
why he
just
has 0 attempts.
Yeah, so I'm laying off finally. So if you've been watching the show and have been hearing me, wait a second. Oh, here we go.
hold the damn phone.
Spring has sprung.
I was gonna
I
say
know.
I was
gonna
waiting
wait
for you to.
Something has sprung and crossed my eye. Daniel Sprong, 6 shots on goal last game off 8 attempps. Was put on the
Canucks
second
legend.
line top power play
Top power
unit.
play. Yep.
He has hit his 1.5 line in 9 of his last 11 games against LA. Had a goal last game, just like we called it on the last episode.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
was crazy.
that's a parlay piece for sure. That may be the only thing I play from that game.
His point prop looks good as well. 8 points and 9 against them, or 8 points and 10 against them. So
I'm sorry,
can't
but
wait
at that point, I'm just going to take his goal. Like,
Yeah,
you might
yeah.
as well.
It-
Yeah, 4
yeah.
goals in those 10 games.
yeah.
Chandler Stevenson pops again against this team. It's that same argument we had last time, where he hasn't really been that great recently. Although now he has 3 points in his last 3 games, so
Yeah.
maybe he's picking it up. But he has 8 points in his last 9 against them. So this game does fall under that system though of the team coming off a shutout and going over. So we're getting an
Ooh, yes, it
half
does.
minus 105, and then the first period over is minus 120. So
Love that.
you could
Really
see
like
both
that look
here.
in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we still don't feel good about the Kings goaltending situation when it really comes down to it. I know
Kemper's
that,
Yeah,
Still
but
up,
at
right?
some point, we gotta maybe just accept it, Franco. I want to sit there with you and hate on it all day, every day, but
Big Civ Dave and
yeah.
Big Sid.
and Darcy. So do you have any other plays picklets for this one, or are we good to move
No,
on?
I mean, I like the Sprong parlay piece, but I mean, other than that, I mean, there's so many games on here. I'm not going to force something, especially in like matinee game. Those always seem to
Yeah.
be a money pit for
they
props, so.
either are like the most ridiculous game where it's like 6-4 and everything
Yeah.
hits, or it's 1-0.
Yeah. And you have
it's
FOMO,
bleeding.
and then you just totally spray the rest of the day because you're like, they're all going to be like this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure, for sure.
What could go wrong?
All right, let's move on to Minnesota playing in Calgary. That game is an over 5.5 as well, minus 120 to the over, plus 100 to the under. Minnesota road favorites, minus 142. Flames, home dogs, plus 120. Coming off that big game against the Rangers, winning 3-2. Dustin Wolf looks like he's the real deal. We were kind of hyping him up 2 years ago or a year ago, hoping he would get some run. Didn't get any last year, and now he's the guy, it looks like, over Vladar. Although it looks like Vladar is going to be starting tomorrow, I believe.
Yeah.
So not
I
to
saw
put
that too.
out the fire here, but yeah. So what do you guys like in there? Let's start with you, Picklets. What do you got?
Well, there's just one guy that stands out to me. I took him a couple days ago, and I should have taken him yesterday too, because he had 7 shots on goal on 9 attempts. Mackenzie Weegar, over 2.5 shots, minus 125 right now on props.cash. He's cleared in 4 straight. He's actually never finished with 3 in those 4 games. He's been 4 or more in all of them. He's had 9, 6, 8, 9 shot attempts. And this Wild team, at the start of the year, you could definitely target them for shots by defensemen, and that kind of remains to be true when you're looking at their whole year, like especially with recently. 3 out of the last 4 he's cleared against them with, really high shot attempts as well. So that's probably my look. Another thing, like, I don't know if Kaprizov's going to play. I think they're intending to call one of their forwards up, which would indicate he's probably out. So what does this Minnesota team look like without Kaprizov? I mean, he's one of the top 3 contenders for the Hart Trophy right now with how he's playing. So that's a huge loss. I mean, Boldy's been great, but if Kaprizov's in tomorrow, I'm going to take the Wild money line just because Vladar's in net instead of Wolf. And like, that was an explosion that they had yesterday, the Flames against the Rangers. That was crazy to see. But yeah, like I don't really know if they can replicate that, especially with how good this Wild team's been on the road. They're 9-1-2 this season on the road. So if Kaprizov's in, Wild money line. If not, lay off. But Mackenzie Weegar over shots for sure.
What about you, Besky? What you got here?
I like that a lot. Yeah, I'll probably just completely lay off of the Wild props until we get word on what's going on there with Kaprizov. The name that sticks out for me, and it does worry me just a touch, is Mikael Backlund, whose shots have been phenomenal lately. Props is acting funky right now, but I'm trying to get his last 10.
He's cleared in 7 out of the last 8.
Yep, thank you.
Not
and
bad.
He's the type of guy, once that guy gets going, man, he is just insane. So history against Minnesota is a little up and down, and Minnesota's been a little tough on shots, but they've been getting really good goaltending. So if they do have the lead, that Backlund may have to be kind of keeping up. I cashed them out both times this week. Again, it's like one of those choo-choo trains. Once it gets going, it will take a while to stop. So I am
just
totally
blind
comfortable
bet
with
it.
riding it. Yep.
Yeah, I miss Backlund. He was really good a couple of years ago. Like it felt like every
last
game.
season he was a little bit off, but a couple seasons ago he was just
2 years ago. I just played him every time because he was always playable and he would hit every time.
Yep. I'll never forget.
Nice.
Never forget. So one thing to point out here that I was looking up. So if Gustafsson gets the start, which I believe he's going to, because Fleury started last night.
Yeah.
So he has played 4 games against Calgary. He's 3-0-1, 2 shutouts, 0.96 goals above average in those games. So 9.68 or 0.968 save percentage in those games as well against Calgary. So I think regardless if Kaprizov plays or not, it's not looking good as far as Calgary producing much if against Gustafsson. So I think I'm going to take that Wild money line regardless at -142. Maybe I'll take it for a sprinkle now, and then if Kaprizov goes out, I'll add more if it moves against me. But yeah, I as much as losing Kaprizov is going to hurt, this team's relatively deep right now. I just don't think Calgary's going to produce much offensively, unfortunately. So could be a tight game, but I lean the Wild's offense a little more than Calgary's.
Same.
You guys have anything else there?
Just one quick note. I just wanted to look at like because Boldy, if Kaprizov's out, Boldy's the main shooter, right? He's better on the road than he is at home for the most part. He was last season. I don't exactly remember what it is this season, but I just wanted to look at his shot attempts without Kaprizov last season. They're crazy. Like 9, 11, 11, 8, 6, 10. He had one with one. But like they're all like he's shooting a lot without Kaprizov, and I mean we'd figure that, but that's something you could look at too.
Yeah, Calgary gives a lot of shots against wingers. I think my only concern there is Zuccarello being out as well. So the playmaking the forward group just looks really, really thin without Kaprizov and Zucks, but never know.
Yeah.
May not matter because he may be the only person to really be shooting because Joel Eriksson the temps lately have been really bad. His history against Calgary, 7 of his last 9. Averaging 6.1 shot attempts looks great. He has hit in the past 2 games, but only had 4 and 3 shot attempts. So it's risky, but
for sure. I think those are both good looks.
All right, cool. Let's move on. We have the Colorado Avalanche against the Florida Panthers. Total set at 6.5. The over is plus 105. Under is minus 125. So you're getting a nice deal there if you like the over. Avs, road dogs plus 114. Panthers favored minus 135. Feels like a pretty good price on the Panthers if you're buying them at home. What do you guys think? I guess Betsky will start off with you here.
Dang, this makes me a little nervous. Colorado's looks pretty good lately. But Panthers at home are quite the wagon too. So that is a nice price. I like it, but I don't know. I guess I'll need to see who the starting goaltenders are, because if Florida for some reason decides to play Knight, it will make me a little bit more nervous about that. So don't want to say too much yet.
I doubt it. Knight played last night against
he did
against Chicago.
Okay.
How'd that turn out?
Not great.
Yeah. I mean,
actually,
I think it was a
now,
great spot for Florida coming off that loss.
I forgot that was last night. Yeah.
Colorado barely beat Philly.
For Washington without Ovechkin.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. They barely beat Philly, then they barely beat Washington. So.
Yeah. They're just getting better goaltending now, but it may not matter. I mean, they're playing against
I'm personally not as high
Washington
on Colorado right now. I think like when everybody's getting in the flow and gets into a rhythm, I think they'll be better, but I still think they're kind of working through the kinks as far as getting everybody back in healthy form. You know, I think Colton's due back as well. Even guys like Miles Wood came back recently, so I don't know if they're 100% where you would want them to be. And I think Florida's in a good spot here.
I may take that now, actually, before that line moves too much more, because I'm sure it will.
Attaboy, Franco. Way to talk him into it.
Yeah, see that. Pickless, what do you like in here?
It's a little juicy, so might have to find a parlay piece for it, but I don't know. Depends. Minus 155, what do you think? Probably a little too juiced, but Cale Makar is shooting like crazy right now. And it's a great matchup against the Panthers, who allow the second most shots to defensemen on the year, over 10 per game. But he's cleared 3 straight. In those 3 games, he had 13, 12, and 7 shot attempts. Like, that's ridiculous. What is that, 32 shot attempts in 3 games?
Jeez. Yeah.
Like, he's just ripping the puck, and it's a good matchup. So, and if we're expecting Florida to be up and winning, Cale Makar is going to need to be shooting to try and get them back in the game, right? So, I mean, it depends how juicy you want to get it. Last night, I paired his over 2.5 with his point, which was plus 120. It came out to be in that cash. So, I mean, that's just another way to get a little bit of extra value if you really like his shots, because, I mean, he's got a point in 85% of his games this season. So only 3 he hasn't. So it's not a bad look.
Yeah, I was going to suggest either his point or Rantanen's point if you wanted to differentiate a little bit. Yeah. Rantanen has 9 points in 5 games against Florida, so might be a good piece there.
Yep, no, that's good. It's weird to see his line at 2.5 and somewhat playable.
How's he been this year? I haven't really looked at his shots. I remember him being like a 3.5.
7 of the last 10. So like not terrible. Not cleared the 2.5 line in 70% of his games. So it's not bad. I don't know if I love the matchup necessarily against the Panthers, but much rather go with Makar.
Yeah, Makar. That's fair. Betsky, you have any other player props here?
I mean, nobody outside of the kind of usual suspects here, but I think you got to kind of keep on riding Duran for the time being, playing at the top line with Mac Daddy and playing on that top power play unit. As long as that point prop is bettable as a straight, that's a really nice look, or kind of a nice parlay piece if it's just moving outside of that like minus 135 territory. Otherwise, Florida Cats, I mean, you can still probably ride that Barkov assist plus Reinhardt point, or if you want to get juicy, go for maybe somebody on the second line, like a Tkachuk plus Bennett type point situation. I'll need to kind of dive into those props and see what the history looks like, but kind of can't go wrong with those guys. Another one to think about is we're finally getting the defenseman on the top power play for Florida, and I'm looking for him right now. Well, maybe he is not available. Yes, but maybe he is not available anymore.
He's been
Took him
spotty,
away.
like off and on,
He
as
has
far as
been.
being offered.
And he is not on the top power play anymore.
Who's there
So
now?
he is on the
Ekblad or
second
something?
unit.
Forsling?
Ekblad is back up.
Okay.
So never mind. Scratch that.
I got a couple interesting ones for you. So we have like mini revenge angle here on Rodriguez. We know that he's a
Oh yeah.
vengeful soul. He only played for Colorado for a short period of time, but I believe his shot on goal against them has been decent, not super good, but decent. So I'll look to that. I don't mind his 1.5 if I could get that with like another piece. Maybe take that with Makar.
Cleared 3 out of the last 4 against Colorado.
Yeah. So he definitely feels a little something there, I guess. I don't know why he just hates his former teams, but he just does. So he's a guy to always target whenever he's playing against former teams. If you're not taking Florida money line, or if you just want something to kind of differentiate, I think Rantanen 2 points looks really good. Like I said, 9 points and 5 against them. He's the top scorer over McKinnon against Florida. So I think usually McKinnon's around like minus 120 for 2 points. Rantanen's usually plus 120. So you're going to be getting better value there. I don't see any reason why you wouldn't go back to Reinhart goal as well. He has 4 goals in 5 games against them. If you like Florida as well, like again, it's just he's been stupid. I don't think anybody expected him to kind of reproduce what he did last year. It felt like he was scoring like every game or every 4 every 5 games, 4 every 6 games, whatever. And he's doing it again. 15 goals in 20 games played. It just seems like he's cashing every game, and I don't know why you would get off that wagon. I know it's a goal prop, but it seems like almost as consistent as point props for some players. So the last one I had highlighted was Kachuk as well. 14 points in 7 games against them. So probably that assist prop is if you want it straight, or you could go as 2 points, or maybe you take his point in a parlay or something like that as well. So definitely lean more towards that Florida money line though. You guys got anything else there?
Yeah, I mean, Barkov has really good history. He cleared 5 straight, averages 4. He's cleared also 3 or 4 of his last 5 this season. So not bad history, just not a great matchup. Just thought I'd point that out there. Also, funny story, shot props. If you ever watch this, I'm so sorry, because yesterday I was like, oh yeah, I had a dream that Carter Verhaeghe against the Blackhawks cleared his shots on goal line. Made him bet it, didn't hit. So sorry, buddy.
Hey, I mean, sometimes stuff like that is like the best reason to bet stuff. You wake up and for whatever reason you're like, oh, this guy.
I didn't give it out or anything. I'm just like, that's just a personal thing. Like I'm gonna bet it, but
yeah. All right, let's move on. We are going to it's your team, Betsky. Utah.
Here we go.
In Pittsburgh. I mean, this has got to be a Utah smash spot, right? DK is not showing any lines yet, and I believe that's because Pittsburgh's playing tonight. So I could look elsewhere. But while I'm doing that, Pittsburgh is at home. Utah's on the road. Obviously, tonight's going to kind of play into what the lines might be or what our beliefs might be as far as who's going to win or who's going to lose this game. But I think the general consensus is we believe that Pittsburgh's going to lose tonight against Winnipeg. At least, we'll see what happens there. But with that being said, Betsky, what do you think? Can Utah get a win tomorrow against a struggling Pens team, or are they going to struggle as well?
Man, they desperately need a win right now. This is a big 4-game road trip. They lost 0-1 against Boston last night. They get Toronto coming up. I don't think that's on Sunday. That'd be maybe
it is on Sunday.
Yeah,
it's
wow.
the only game.
Yep. And then Montreal, they close out the road trip. So it would be really ugly to not get at least 2 wins on this one, considering they're playing Boston, Pittsburgh, and Montreal in that group. So I definitely do lean Utah here, but it's a little scary right now. Things aren't going right. It seems like the team has no puck luck at all. Pittsburgh may be ready to pounce on a team if they get just absolutely spanked tonight. So I think one target here that I really would want to look at is Crosby goal if he doesn't get one tonight. So if he scores tonight, maybe not as much. But goal and shots, maybe do 3 shots in the goal to get some extra value out of that if he does not hit his goal tonight. Logan Cooley is from Pittsburgh too, so he's been pretty decent with his shots prop lately. It's about 1.5. That may be one to even juice up to 3, get some really nice plus money value, or go for one of his point props as well. Those are kind of the two that stand out without being able to look at too much, because at this point on props.cash we don't have charts anymore. So,
well, he's got over the 1.5 and 5 out of his last 6, but he's got over 2.5 and 4 out of his last 6. So
yeah, I really think that may be a nice look then. And actually, let me see. I know if you search by goals, you can kind of cheat it. He has 3 shots against Pittsburgh the last time he played them, and then 0 in that first one. But that first one was pretty early into his NHL career. So, yeah, that may be a nice little
We know
piece.
Pittsburgh gives up shots. I like that.
Yep.
That's a good look.
Talked about that earlier today, so I like that too.
Just real quick, so FanDuel does have lines for this game. Utah's -104, Pittsburgh -115. Total set at 6.5, -114 to the over, -106 to the under. So, does that sway you at all, Picklets?
No, not really. Like I mean, I just want Utah to win for Gretzky's sake. You know, man needs to be happy. So
yeah,
let's make it happen.
It's kind of crazy seeing Pittsburgh.
At this point, I'm starting to look at the draft, though. So
yeah, that's never good. But
you're
hey,
falling
at least
into the pattern, man. Like no, it's too early for that. You can't fall back into it. Like
true.
You came in this season with high hopes for this team to be a playoff team. It's not over yet.
Yeah,
but American Thanksgiving's coming up.
Yeah,
you know what they say about that.
Yep.
Really hard to get in the playoffs if you're out. So
yep.
I mean, there's a couple of teams that have been disappointing to start the season.
I mean, Canucks are out of the playoffs right now. If it ended today,
yeah, it's crazy.
So
Minnesota's been ridiculously good.
Yeah,
I don't think we had that on our bingo card.
Will that flip? You know?
Yeah, that's true. Don't get my hopes up though.
I personally like Pittsburgh. I don't really like the price, to be honest with you, because I don't really know if I want to lay anything with Pittsburgh. I was kind of hoping to see plus money there, but I don't know. Maybe if they lose, the line will move against them or something like that. But do you have any props, guys, for this one besides the Cooley one? Or
it's really the only one I'm like got my eye on right now. I was hoping Gunther was going to have another big shot night last night, but he kind of fell off after 2 10-shot attempt performances.
I bet him too.
Yeah, same. So I may lay off there. Wait to see if this team can get out of a funk. So really, Cooley's what I'm eyeing here. And yeah, maybe Crosby goal, depending on how tonight goes.
Yeah, I don't have much more than that. So
gotcha. All right. I kind of like Crosby props in general. I mean, besides the goal, he has 12 points in 6 games against them, and averages almost 5 shot attempts or shots on goal in those 6 games. So I don't mind looking kind of at any of his props, 2 points or a shot prop for that game as well. Especially if he doesn't get that goal tonight, I would probably be looking for that 3.5, hopefully plus money still for his shots. You gotta think he's gonna start feeling that pressure to get it done, get it out of the way. So I don't mind looking at a shot prop there. Carlson also pops 8 assists in 8 games versus them. So you can go his point prop probably at close to even money, or if you want to get crazy, go with his assist and get some nice plus money. But other than that, that's all I really have. Like I said, I lean Penguins here, unfortunately, Betsky. Until they get out of that funk.
Yeah.
I don't really want to. And I guess this falls under that system play as well if you want to do the first period over. But
now this one may be a really nice system play too. Yeah, because I mean both of these teams can score or have been able to in the past, and both are a little leaky at net. So
they don't have first period lines available yet. The full game, like I said, is over 6.5. So we'll see where that's probably gonna be like a -130, -140 for the first period, but we'll see what happens there.
Cool.
All right, let's keep on rolling then. So we have Carolina at Columbus. Over 6.5, -105. The under -115. Carolina minus 250 road favorites, 205 plus 205 for Columbus. Anybody feeling like biting at that plus 205 number? You can even get Jackets puck line at minus 125. Feeling saucy?
No.
Nah.
I mean, they're coming off like a huge emotional win
Yeah.
against the Lightning. Like I think it's a kind of a big letdown spot.
That game was ridiculous.
I know. I know. My buddy sat Zach Werenski in fantasy, and he was just biting himself over it. It's funny. I mean, I'm just probably gonna look at point props for the Hurricanes.
Carolina side,
yeah. I feel like that's kind of the best way to do it. You know, maybe get a point stack there. They kind of switched up their lines now with, didn't they? Because Jarvis is out, so now isn't Svechnikov on that third line with Stahl, and then Natchez is still on. I don't know how Natchez.
Yeah, they moved Martin,
Kotkaniemi, and Eric Robinson on his line.
It's absolutely insane.
Doesn't
yes,
make
and you're right. Martinook is on the top line. So, wait,
His shots.
Rosalick.
Yeah, he's been
Revenge
crazy.
angle. Even though
Rosalick revenge.
Right.
Even though I'm not exactly sure he's upset that he got moved to New York and then Carolina from Columbus, but
yeah, I'd be pretty happy.
Did he play any games with the Rangers against them? I don't know if he did or not last year.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. That, I mean, of course, I'm going to bet that because that's just what I do,
and he was from Winnipeg before that, right?
Yeah,
he was part of the
yeah.
Yes,
so he was in Winnipeg, then got traded to Columbus and was excited because he's like from the area, and was a Columbus fan.
Right.
And then he got moved.
Okay.
Kid.
Yeah. No, that's right. Rosalick.
And he was picking up. He was picking up too at that point.
Yeah.
A team that can't retain any of their forwards and they always want to go. They trade the one guy that is like, yeah, I'm down to stay. Great job. Just kidding. But that's a good angle. I don't know. I haven't been on the Roslovic train. I haven't been betting his point, but I should have been because it's been cashed quite a bit. Is it normally around like plus money or?
Yeah, it is. So I would be looking at both point and shot.
Yeah.
Martinook on the top line is interesting. I wonder if we'd get a point prop there.
I didn't bet this yesterday and I should have, but I wanted to do. Oh, never mind. I went ahead anyway. Perfect. Not even gonna mention it.
Did his 2 shots hit yesterday? I forgot to check.
No, he had 0.
No.
Okay.
That's what I was gonna bet. I was gonna go David Perron over 1.5 and Martinook over 1.5.
No, good thing.
Thank God I didn't. But I mean, yeah, he cleared in 2, 4, 6, 8, 9.
Yeah,
straight.
he's been on fire. He's been on fire.
And now the bump up to the first line, like,
yeah,
I like that as a parlay piece if you can get it.
Yeah, and I'd be hesitant to go back to Werenski. I mean, that could be totally the wrong call here, but the man's wrist must be sore tonight because that guy had so many shot attempts.
But also, Carolina's so good against defense.
That on top of it, you know, this isn't like I mean, and again, I could be totally wrong because the dude had maybe a career game yesterday, but it's not one where I want to be chasing that.
Yeah.
Can I just tell you that he has 7 points in 7 games against them? So,
by the way, Werenski looks great tomorrow.
Everything I just said, disregard.
Do we get plus money though? Right, like it being that it's against Carolina. Like if we're getting a good number for his point prop, I might bite.
Probably not for the point. You probably need to go assist, which is a little concerning with him. But that means I probably won't lay on his shots, but maybe the point may be the way to go there.
Yeah, that's not a bad look. Do we?
I don't know how you don't go back to Natchez though. Like regardless,
I was just gonna bring him up again. Yeah, like
guys, like
Natchez assist.
Yes.
Yeah. So like, I mean, remember this offseason, there was this whole thing that he was gonna get traded to the Blue Jackets, but he wouldn't sign a contract there. So then the trade didn't go through. So then, like, is he? I don't know if that does anything, but like, hey, like, I'll show you why I'm not signing with you.
Yeah.
You know?
So maybe you take his shots too.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, could have that angle. Their former GM too, right? Don Waddell.
Don Waddell's there, yeah. I didn't think about that. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, I don't think I really have much else here. I think we kind of covered it. You guys got anything else?
Nah.
No, I'm good. It's kind of hard to do it without any than any,
Yeah.
props on cash or anything, any lines that we see, right?
Gotcha. So we're thinking about cutting this off after this Vancouver game. I would say let's break it down, and then
Okay.
if anybody has anything else just circled for the other games, we can just kind of bring it up. We won't go through the whole slate of the rest of the games.
Cool.
Obviously, we're not trying to go like 2 hours here because it's just going to be ridiculous. But yeah, let's break down Vancouver since we got you on Picklets. All right.
Oh, geez, thanks.
Yeah, I know. Hey, man, this
I
might be a good
definitely
matchup
didn't
for you.
ask for this or
This
anything.
might be a good matchup for you guys now. I mean, come on. So we got the Canucks playing in Ottawa. The total set at 6, -108 to the over, -112 to the under. Canucks +114, Sens -135, home favorites. Picklets, what are you thinking here?
Oh, I just think that's kind of disrespectful that we're underdogs against Ottawa. But I mean, we haven't been playing that great. But where we do excel is on the road, 6-1 so far on the road. But we're just bad at home ice. And I was at the Devils game where we lost 6-0. They're terrible on home ice. But for props, I mean, I want a Kiefer Sherwood point prop. Like him on that line with Petey and DeBrusque, that line's been crazy good. Now, Bezer's not going to be back. Miller's obviously still out with whatever the heck he's going through. But
Yeah,
they're really going to have to rely on that top line. So, and like Sherwood shoots a lot. So I remember last game he had a 1.5 line. I think he had 4 in the first period. So I'm not afraid to kind of bump him up and get that plus money for over 2.5 either.
I like that a lot. Sherwood's looked great
Yeah.
for you guys. I mean, he's kind of been a piece that you've needed because I mean, I feel like that wing spot has been in constant rotation since the start of the season. I mean, Sprong was there, obviously. They moved on from him. Hoaglander's been in there every now and then. Garland, it's just been like a rotating cast of characters. So hopefully he can stick.
I've got another one. You just said it. Connor Garland just had a baby.
Oh,
Baby bump.
Bam.
Baby bump.
Oh.
There we go. There we go. Thank you for reminding
he
me.
also has 5 assists in 6 games versus them. No goals though.
He scored last game. So it was kind of confusing. His wife was going into labor, but wasn't having the kid yet before the Rangers game. And then he scored. So did that baby bump run out? I don't know.
Well, so if we learn anything from the latest baby bump, which was Brandon Montour the other day or a couple weeks ago, where he had
a hat
trick the day before the baby, flew back to Seattle, visited said baby, flew all the way back to the East, and then had like 10 shot attempts and like 15 shots somehow.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there is it's kind of like the legs, you got the bumps on both sides of the here.
Yeah. I mean, I'm probably still going to play his goal. I'm probably going to be all over Garland tomorrow, like just for that reason. He's going to find that extra dad strength that he didn't have before.
Oh,
yeah. So that's kind of all I have. I mean, Quinn Hughes is just a shot on goal machine. He's almost just matchup proof at this point. So you could always look at him. But I don't have anything on Ottawa, so I'll let you guys go.
Well, I saw something yesterday how Mark Mathot, who's one of the insiders for Ottawa, mentioned that if things don't start turning around soon, that a big move could happen for the team. So this may be a team that is kind of feeling the pressure and maybe wanting to really do what they can to keep the band together, or the only scary thing with this is, do some of them not care and want to watch the ship burn? But that being said, this is one of those spots I'd maybe look more towards like a point stack with that top line of Stützle, Batherson, and Tkachuk. I know Batherson in particular has been really hot lately. His goal may even be a spot to kind of sprinkle here. And I wanted to see Chabot shots because he had been awesome for a minute there, but I know the matchup's not the best. So Chabot's attempts are in. Oh no, I'm still looking at Quinn Hughes. Sorry, it's Well, Chabot's attempts are insane, though. He's coming off a 12 shot attempt performance, 7-1 before that. He had an 11-1 thrown in that mix, too. So his shots could be decent. He's hit in 6 of the last 10, coming off a hit after 2 misses. Only problem is Vancouver's a little bit tricky here, but that may be one of those pieces that some of the guys who are a little bit older on the team are looking to kind of take that extra step because some of the rumors are out there. I don't know. That's kind of where I would lean in there. So point stack from that top line, maybe Chabot shots. I think that's about it for me on that.
So something sitting at 99 goals right now. Does
Who
that
is?
influence you? Stützle.
Yeah.
That could be good. I just did a little bit of research here. And I always just remember Batherson. He always plays well against the Canucks. He's got a
He's
point
from
in 4
BC,
straight.
right?
Good question.
Oh, maybe not.
He's got a point in 4 straight against the Canucks. He's cleared his shots at over 2.5 in 4 of his last 5. But the one thing I really wanted to highlight. Oh, and now I lost it. But I'm betting the over. Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 straight head-to-head matches have gone over 6.5.
Love that.
Wow.
On these 2 teams.
You're getting over 6 too at -108. So
here we go.
Protection.
Even better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Batherson is from Indiana, by the way, so way off.
Close.
Almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right
I like
country
that
at least.
I like that over.
Yeah.
I
me
think
too.
I think that's a good look.
What if you buy it up to 6.5?
Yeah, you could do that if you're feeling real saucy.
Feeling frisky.
So, yeah,
well, it's gonna have to. I don't know. Yes. Plus 110.
Plus 110. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not bad.
I mean, you need 7 to cash the over 6 anyway. So why not just bet the over 6.5?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's fair.
I mean, the push is always a little extra bonus, but yeah.
All I know is if I can still bet Pettersson and Hughes point parlay together, I'm doing that. I've cashed it like 3 straight games, and it's just I don't know why you're even allowed to do that. It's like free money at this point.
Don't take it away though.
Yeah,
what happened?
Please
don't take it away.
Pettersson's been awesome though, man. I mean,
he's so back.
I feel like since it's great to see because I really love him as a player, and I feel like he's gone through these like random like patches of struggles throughout his career where he just falls off and everybody's like, oh, is this guy not for real or whatever? But
he's washed.
He always comes back. So
no, for sure. And like he was getting a lot of scrutiny over here. Like there's a lot of people out for his head, like, oh, trade him now, blah, blah, blah. Like he's never gonna live up to that contract and all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, relax. Like, sure, right now he's a top 5 paid player, top 6 now after Draisaitl's new deal. But like in 5 years, when this cap is astronomically higher, that's going to look like a steal.
Yeah, all you got to do is wait 5 years.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, everything looks bad, and then in retrospect, it's not. Everything changes. The market resets itself quickly. So,
yeah,
for sure.
So with that being said, guys, do you have any other before we get out of here? Do you guys have any other plays like highlighted through the rest of these games, or anything you want to bring up that to look at or keep an eye on tomorrow? What do you got? Go ahead, Betsky. How about we each go? I'll let Betsky just kind of run down, and then I'll spin it to you.
Or maybe do it in round robin because I only have one loaded up right now. But
I've got one right now too.
This is going to be one that I'm going to be writing for the next couple of weeks here. McMichael shots on goal with Ovi out. He had an insane amount against Colorado, who is very stingy against shots. I'll need to look at it a little bit against Jersey because I know they are kind of stingy too, but at the same time, he's going to be kind of the guy right now with Ovi out, I think, especially for shots purposes. So I think that is going to be an absolute choo-choo train for the next couple weeks. So grab it now. You're going to get a really good price on it now, especially with the matchup tomorrow. I think this is going to be kind of one of those matchup-proof situations because somebody's got to do it, and his shots were kind of up and down right before the injury. I think last night he had like 10 attempts or something insane like that. Let me pull it up. But That is the first one I want to highlight. Your turn.
No, I like that too. Just a question: who was playing in Ovi's office on the power play? Did you guys watch the game at all?
I did not. I was shoveling rocks.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
gravel.
Those rocks
I
got to
was
be
all
shoveled.
out of that game. I know Mangiapane was up on the top line, but I think he only had one shot, so obviously he wasn't doing much in that role.
Yeah. Well, I like that, McMichael.
It sucks
he's
because
been
like Strome
amazing.
was like a wagon.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't know.
6 shots on 8
feel
shot
like I missed
attempts,
him
and of course my fucking team had to do it to Ovi. Pitiful. God.
It sucks. Like no one wants to see Ovi go down. Like everybody was rooting for him to do what he's doing, and
oh yeah, are you kidding?
3 to 4 weeks or whatever it's going to be. I mean, and who knows what he's going to be when he comes back? He was just so red hot. It could take a little bit to get going again. It's a damn shame.
I mean, I still think he gets it. Maybe not this season. Depends on how long he's out and everything, but I still think he eventually will get it. What was crazy is that he could do it faster than Gretzky. Did you guys see that?
No, wow.
He could do it in fewer games than Gretzky, which would have been nuts.
That's wild. Yeah, I mean, he had like the lockout season. He had the COVID season. He's kind of gotten robbed of longevity.
Yeah, like he should have had it by now.
Yes.
100%.
So, Picklets, what do you got as far as other plays here for the slate?
I kind of talked about him earlier. Justin Falk probably going to be playing his shots on goal again tomorrow. I mean, you just got to ride it. He's got what? He's cleared in 5 out of his last 7, and that's at 2.5. And yesterday got it at plus 135, which is crazy. 2 games he had 4, so he's just smashing this line. If you go to shopprops.com, shout out him. Filter the last 10. The Islanders are allowing the most shots on goal to defensemen, and they're playing the Islanders tomorrow. So probably going to be back riding him.
Kills bad, right? Or like they give up a decent amount of penalties, right? I believe.
Let me look. Let me look. Looking.
Because he's top power play.
Their power play's bad. 29th at 70.8%, but they don't allow that many penalties either.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
2.4, also 29th. But I mean, still that's good.
Yeah, that's just added to it. I like that look a lot.
Mm-hmm.
We've kind of talked about in the past, like getting on these guys early in the trains, right, as opposed to late. So if he's one of those guys that gets on one of those heaters like that, you want to get in now as opposed to when it starts being minus 110 and he finally falls off. One I had circled was Nick Suzuki. Kind of wild, right? So it is a revenge angle.
Revenge.
If you guys remember, he was the piece in the Pacioretty trade from Vegas to Montreal. So he loves playing against Vegas, though. 7 points in 5 games, 3 goals as well. So you look at his goal prop there. I'm sure you're getting a nice price on that. He has scored once in his last 3, and his shot prop, I'm going to go. I'm assuming we're going to get a 1.5 at like a juice number. So I'll do that with something, I don't know what, and then I'll go up to over 2.5 as well. There, he hasn't been perfect hitting it against them, but he does rip puck. I remember the last game he had like a ton of attempts. He just kept missing the friggin' net. So, like that a lot. I think there's a lot of guys tomorrow that are going to be at that 1.5 line, or even if you want to go down, if somebody's like a plus 130 at 2.5. I think there's going to be a lot of guys that you can get at 2 shots tomorrow to make like a really crazy, like I'm saying like a 7-legger or something like that should feel pretty nice tomorrow. So I don't know if anybody wants to join me on that. Maybe we can cook something up like that tomorrow.
Yeah, let's do it.
I like that.
Betsky, anything else? No, I gave you a little bit of time there.
Let's each try to do one more from a game any game, but try to do one that we haven't talked about. I'm going to go right to McDry points. It is so when they lose in a bad fashion, they tend to bounce right back. I am kicking myself for not taking them at 2s and 3s against Ottawa after they got shut out by Montreal. Lost last night 2-5. They looked very frustrated. They were getting onto the ice within the last minute or so, even though it was clearly not going to be a win. I think they lost 3-5 because of a late Skinner goal or something. But
Mm-hmm.
so you could tell they still wanted to be out there. There was a Rangers Edmonton game maybe 2 seasons ago that was just a point palooza. And I always kind of circled these two teams because of that. Both of them have tons of firepower. I'm going to be looking at this game as just kind of a treasure trove of point props here. So, you're probably going to get a good price at again, even though he just got off the Schneid last night, as you say, Franco. Maybe even like try to do something like Bouchard 2 points, Panarin 2 points. Maybe this could easily be a completely crazy out of control game. So the over would be in play as well. But again, McDry points, they only had one each last game. That is at home, especially after a bad loss. Give me it.
Yeah, nice. I like it. I think we could see goals there. Even though it's the Rangers, who sometimes can be an under team. But what do you got, Picklets, for your last one you want to highlight here?
I mean, if we get in an over game there, Shesterkin hasn't been great, and Picard's in net. I mean, Picard's been a little bit better.
Picard's in net.
Yeah.
Wait, and really quickly, here's the last 10 for the two teams, and granted, they're on different conferences, so they don't see each other all that often. 3-4, 3-0, 5-4, 3-4, 4-1, 5-6. I think this is that game I'm remembering, and 5-7, and then there's some unders, but that's when these two teams are so different in 2019 and beyond. So out of those 7 games, only 2 are unders, and again, a lot at 7 goals plus.
Yeah, I like it. I'm gonna stick in the same game and just go with some shots. Connor McDavid's cruising right now, especially at home. His last 3 home games, he had 8, 8, and 4. Cleared again last night, and it was plus money. The Rangers are this is surprising. They weren't allowing that many shots last season. They really are this season. I mean, we saw what happened last night, 46 to Calgary. Like, you telling me that McDavid ain't going to get 4 if they get that volume? Like, that's just kind of what I'm riding with without seeing too much data in front of me.
Nice. All right. Yeah, I mean, I think that game's going to be good for props in general. Two good offenses. Shaky blue line, at least in Edmonton right now without Nurse. It's funny he gets ragged on a lot, I guess, for his defensive game, but I think he's a loss regardless of what you may or may not like about him. So
kind of reminds me of like Chikrin. Like, say what you will, they can eat minutes, they can play both sides of the ice decently. That's still a valuable asset.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of guys you don't want to be playing 24 minutes in a game. So you can still do that, fill that role. So I think that's important. I kind of just a couple sides here I like tomorrow. So I think Tampa Bay is in a good spot against Dallas. You're getting -105. They're going to be pissed off about that game against Columbus the other day. That's what happens when you think that Jonas Johansson's an NHL goaltender. He's bounced around on like 3 or 4 teams, and every team that's tried has failed, and he's still getting run for some reason. So I'm expecting Vasi in that. Dallas has been good, I get it, but I think Tampa's going to be pissed. They're much better at home. We know this. -105 feels like a damn good price. Win or lose, I think it's some value there.
I'm on that too. I really like that.
I like that a lot.
Nice. All right, cool. And then the other one I like, I think I'm going to bet the Sharks tomorrow against Buffalo. Maybe.
Do you want to see what happens tonight, though?
Yeah. I mean, I want to see what happens tonight. Obviously, Buffalo's -180 tonight for some reason, which I still don't know. But they're -162 tomorrow. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm just going to bet. I'm going to bet Anaheim tonight, and I'm going to bet San Jose tomorrow. And like, if I go 1-1, I made money because I'm getting money. And if they win both games, because Buffalo kind of stinks, and Levi's going to be in net tomorrow, I assume. He's been the weaker goaltender. So I like it even more, to be honest with you, probably. I know San Jose hasn't been great, but I think they should have won that game the other night. Askarov lets in a goal in the first 30 seconds of the game, playing a puck behind the net. So if that doesn't happen, it's a 1-1 game pretty much throughout the whole game. So San Jose really pushed at the end too to get that game time goal with like 8 seconds left. So they're feisty, man. And I don't know that Tasia is going to be back tomorrow either. So, you guys have anything else to talk about besides that?
One prop for Sunday. One prop to rule them all.
Holy!
Oh man, we're going all the way to Sunday.
You know what it is, Franco.
Austin Matthews against Utah.
Is he even playing?
No,
I know he always does well against.
And they're
Arizona,
not Zona anymore, so he may not care. But
yeah,
we're going back to our boy Nikita Gruboinkin. And
oh hell yeah,
yes,
for a goal.
Dude, he looked good, man.
He looked like he was going to.
He looked good. He looked good.
Back check, forward check, paycheck.
That guy.
Yeah.
There's a chance that Utah is going to be starting an AHL goaltender on Sunday because Ingram is injured. Vejmelka's played last game. I'm sure he'll play tomorrow. Back-to-back situation. You may have
by million. Is that
like
what we're saying?
Strubauer or something like that. Yeah. Even though it always scares me when a call-up goalie plays because there's no video on them. They usually can impress for a game or two, and then all hell breaks loose. But
the team in front of them usually plays better too. So I would say, like, if anything, you take like a Utah first period or a first period under or something like that. It seems like when that happens, it's like tight, really good sound defensive game. Obviously, the wheels can fall off later, but yeah.
Yep. But I got to sprinkle Gruboinkin in. Whatever it is, and then
like if instead of throwing an AHL goalie in there, sometimes they will tend to do put Vejmelka in there back to back. But I just looked at their schedule; that'll be their third game in 4 nights.
Yeah,
like if he does that, and then they play again on Tuesday, which would be 4 games in 6 nights. Not going to play him that much. So
they need to win.
Right.
They need to win against Pittsburgh tomorrow, man. I mean, this is just brutal for them.
I'm saying, do you not think that Veggie would be in against Toronto instead of Pittsburgh because Toronto's seemingly the harder competition?
Well, do you make the argument that you feel like you have a better chance to win against Pittsburgh and you go all in against Pittsburgh and hope to win?
Mm-hmm. That works too. It got really dark here, and so like now I'm super bright.
You're trying to adjust the
screen.
Sorry, all right, guys. Thank you so much, everybody tuning in. I want to mention our sponsors one more time. DraftKings. New users get $200 in bonus bets when they place a $5 bet. Use code THPN. Game time code THPN as well. $20 off your first purchase, and then Raycon 30% off your first purchase. They also have a ton of Black Friday deals using code THPN. Picklets, man, thanks for joining us. I know this is a long
so much. Make sure
episode, hour and a half, man. Thanks for joining us on Friday. I know you have nothing better to do, so thanks.
I gotta go to work right now. So
awesome. Then perfect timing, man.
Perfect.
But yeah, thanks everybody. If you're not following this guy, get the hell on it. This guy puts out great content for the Canucks, and
appreciate
awesome.
it. Yeah,
and
associate editor at Canucks Army. Check out all my written content there, and then follow me at Spittin' Picklets on Twitter.
And then you know where to find me and Betsky. So we'll be back next week, and everybody have a great weekend. Let's cash some bets tonight. Thank you.